Okay, we are joined by Sydney McLaughlin, who just finished winning heat number one of the women's 400-meter hurdles with a time of 54.07 seconds, qualifying for the final. Sydney, why don't you start by walking us through that race today?
Yeah, it was a little unconventional with all the starts they had going on, but it was really good just to be able to come out and feel the track, feel the crowd. I'm really happy with the time and just excited for tomorrow's semi.
Yeah, my apologies. Qualified for the semifinals at the beginning there. Pat Graham of Associated Press asks, 3 restarts. Does that happen often in 400 hurdles? How difficult is that to refocus after being called back over and over?
Yeah, I've never had that many restarts ever in my life in any event, so it was very unusual. It definitely was a little bit of a mind game having to refocus that many times, but it was a good test to show that anything can happen, and just being able to persevere through that and still execute my race.
Alex Ozzie asks, did the officials provide any explanation for what caused all the false starts?
They didn't. I know one of the girls mentioned that she had been shaking after the race, so maybe it was a little bit of movement in the blocks, but during all of that, they didn't give us any information.
Question from Jonathan Galt. How do you feel your fitness compares to 2019? And are there any specific aspects of your race that you feel have improved under coach Bobby Kersey? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Kersey.
Yeah. I definitely think there are a few things that are a little bit better for sure. We've just been working on me really being comfortable with the race itself, understanding the history behind it, and understanding how I'm going to be able to, proceed in this event. We've been working on stride patterns, all those different things, and I've been learning a lot for sure.
How's your Olympic trials experience been here so far? I obviously ran in 2016 here. How's it been different this time around?
It's been a little bit different just because I know what to expect now. I learned a couple of things from 2016 that I'm now taking with me, staying a little bit more distance from the meet and just focusing on what I have to do. And I think the support system that I have around me and a really strong faith is definitely helping make it smooth.
Question from Alex Ozzie again. Can you elaborate on what you've learned about the history of the event?
Yeah, just knowing some of the past in order to work towards the future. Understanding, in a women's race, people technically want 15 strides all the way around to be a perfect race. I think personally, the way that my stride length is set up, that's going to extend out to 14 instead of 15. And we've really just been working with that and seeing what the perfect race combination for me is going to be.
Question from Pat Graham, the Associated Press. Last thing you want to do is be in the heat that long. How hot does it get getting into the blocks again and again?
Yeah, it gets pretty hot. My knee started bleeding a little bit just from the hot track, getting down that many times. But it just goes to show that anything can happen in track and field, and you have to be prepared for it.
All right. I will give reporters a couple more seconds to raise their hand if they're typing a question. We do have another question from Alex Ozzie. In terms of looking at previous 400-meter races, are there any athletes you've been studying?
It's a great question. I don't think there's anyone in particular. Definitely been paying a lot of attention to Edwin Moses. Just seeing how successful he was and dominant how he was in the 400 hurdles and his strength, being able to, keep his stride pattern. I think looking at just women in track and field, just looking up to Jackie, being able to be in close relationship with her because of Bobby. I've learned a lot from her as well, and it's just been really cool.
Another question from Pat Graham. Will it take a world record time to get on this team?
I think world records come when they come. I don't know when it's going to be or where it's going to be or who it's going to be, but I just know that, it's probably going to be a fast race, and I'm just excited to go out there and try and make a second team.
Great. Once again, I'll just let reporters take a couple of seconds. If they have a question, go ahead and raise your hand if you do have another question here. If not, we'll let Sydney go. I don't see any hands, so I think you're all good to go. Thank you so much.
Thanks.